on YouTube. Perfect. All right. Haven't done this in a couple weeks. Bear with me if I'm a little rusty, but let's go ahead. Let's hop right into it. Today, I'm going to be hosting how to get up and running with Bookmap. So for anybody watching on YouTube, if you are not in the free Discord, you can do that either by scanning this QR code right here, signing up with your email, or just creating an account on the Bookmap website, and then you can join the Discord that way. So hopping right into it, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to log into bookmap.com. So when you're on bookmap.com, you're going to go over here to this top right where it says log in, and you're going to click on that. Now, if you do not have an account, you're going to have to register. If you have an account, type in your email and your password and then sign in. Once you're signed in, you then want to go to your user dashboard, your Bookmap portal, and your Bookmap license key is going to be right here. You're going to need that for the first time that you download Bookmap. All you'll do is copy and paste it. But then from here, you are going to select your system as well as your version. So if you are on, Windows, obviously choose Windows, Mac Intel, Mac M1, etc. Just choose the system that you're using. And then as far as your version, do production. I think sometimes we'll pop up with I think it's an alpha version. But just do production, select that, and then select download. So that's going to download your Bookmap. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is add a data subscription. So to add your data subscription, back on your Bookmap portal, you want to find this button right here that says add subscription, okay? So you want to click on that. Now, once you do that, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to take you to this page right here, one, if you're not logged in, or if you don't have a core subscription, okay? Core subscription, you have multiple different options. You have digital, digital plus, annual, global, global plus, etc. There's a layout within Bookmap breaking down the difference between each of these. But you can also see that if it takes you to this page, it's because you're not logged in, okay? So what it should look like is this. It should say your account at the top right, and it should take you to this page instead. Again, if you're not logged in, it will take you to this page, as you can see at the top right. If you're not logged in, it will take you to this page right here, okay? Now, these are going to be your data subscriptions. So I'm going to show you guys how to set it up with futures as well as individual stocks. So the first one being futures, as we can see right here, Bookmap Futures Data. There's multiple different options. If you trade the S&P, NASDAQ futures, or the Russell, that's all going to be under the CME, Bookmap Data, which is $17 for the first month and then $34 every single month after that. If you trade the Dow Jones, that's going to be under CBOT, which again is going to be $17 for the first month and then $34 every single month after that. If you trade oil, like crude oil, for example, that's going to be under NYMEX, again, $17 for the first month and then $34 every single month after that. If you trade the metals such as gold or silver, that's going to be under COMEX, again, $17 for the first month and then $34 every single month after that. Or if you trade multiple of these instruments, it might make more sense for you to go with the CME bundle. That way you get access to all of them, which is going to be $79 for each month. So that's going to be your futures data. As far as your individual stocks data, a couple of different options. You can go with Bookmap Equities data, or you can go with DXFeed stocks data. The Bookmap Equities data is going to be cheaper. So we can see Bookmap Data, NASDAQ, Total View, and NLS, which is going to be $29 for the first month and then $59 for each month after that. DXFeed is going to be, well, actually a couple of different options. You could choose DXFeed NASDAQ Depth Data, which is $69 for the month, or DXFeed EdgeX Depth Data, which is $59 for the month. Or you can get both of them for $119 for each month. Sorry, my throat's been hurting today. So now what you're going to do is you are going to open Bookmap. So I'm going to open Bookmap on my end real quick. I don't know, how many of you have Bookmap 7.7 right now, or is that not released publicly yet? Because I think my screen's going to look different than yours now. I believe it's not public. See what Dan says. Oh, it is public. All right, perfect. So then our screen should match now if you guys are updated to 7.7. But as we can see when we open Bookmap, there's three different options. Okay, we have simulation mode. Simulation mode is essentially you're looking at real-time market data, but you're trading with fake money. So like paper trading, but with real-time data. Then we have trading mode, which is real-time live data, just like simulation, but you can route real trades through your accounts or your prop firms. So everything in trading mode is real. And then we also have replay mode, which is you could pull up. Yeah, I made that video. You can pull up any day, any time within replay mode, as long as you're recording past data. Okay, so if I wanted to go back to, let's say, last Tuesday and go to like 12 p.m. and start replaying it from there, I have that option. I would just select replay mode and I would go back and I would choose that day. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this in trading mode. We're going to go ahead and hit OK. Might have to disconnect a couple things on this when it opens. We'll see. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 3-step model of adding an adapter, establishing a connection, and then pulling up an instrument. So the first thing that we want to do, sorry, I got to delete these. Delete. The first thing that we want to do is we want to hit connections, okay? Once you click connection, you want to hit configure. We then want to go down here to add/remove platforms. You can't see my screen, I'm sharing it. Everybody see it? Oh, why is it doing that? Hold on. Yep. Hold on. Entire screen. There we go. Now you should see it. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, let me backtrack real quick. We open Bookmap, go to connections up here, go down to configure, add/remove platform, click that. Now what we're going to do, I have to remove mine real quick. We're going to scroll down until we find Bookmap Data, which is going to be right here. This is the adapter. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to hit install. Okay. Now we're going to hit OK. This is from the beginning. This is the first thing once you open Bookmap. This is exactly what you do. So now that we have the adapter installed, we're then going to go over here to add connection. Okay. We're going to add our Bookmap data as well as our DXFeed data. Okay. So hit add connection, go over here to where it says platform, and you want to scroll down until you find Bookmap Data. You then want to select. Once you select Bookmap Data, you then want to go down here to where it says server location, and you want to choose the location that you're closest to. Okay. So if you're in the US, choose the US, Europe, choose Europe, Japan, choose Japan, or whatever you're closest to. I live in the US, so I'm going to choose US. Okay. Now we're going to add our other connection, which is going to be DXFeed. So again, we're going to hit add connection. We're going to go to platform and we're going to scroll down and we're going to select DXFeed. Now with DXFeed, we don't have to do anything else. All we have to do is hit OK. So now we've added our adapter, our Bookmap Data adapter, and then we added our connection for Bookmap Data and our connection for DXFeed. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull up an instrument. So to pull up an instrument, we're going to go back to connections and we're going to go down. First, we're going to select Bookmap Data. So we're going to click that box right there. You see that we're connecting to Bookmap Data. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add an instrument. So we're going to hit the plus button. We're going to make sure our platform is Bookmap Data. Our type is going to be futures. And then depending on what instrument we are pulling up, that is going to determine our exchange. So again, if we're trading gold, we're going to pull up COMEX. If we're trading the S&P, NASDAQ, or Russell, we're going to pull up CME. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up ES. Okay, so we're going to choose CME. Now, the nice thing with the 7.7 update with Bookmap Data is we can just type in ES now. Originally, we had to type in the symbol, the month contract, and then the end of the year, which currently is ESH6. But with the Bookmap Data on the 7.7 update, we can just type in ES and then select this first one right here, and that'll select the continuous contract. Now, we have the option to load up to 7 days worth of data. I'm just going to select 1 hour so it loads quicker. I'm going to go ahead and hit subscribe. And then there we go. So give it a second while it loads entirely. Perfect. Here is the order flow for the S&P, and we could start using it right away. Okay. So that's how you pull up a futures instrument. You can see that we have the continuous contract based on this the circle icon right there. The next thing that we're going to do is pull up an individual stock. So again, we're going to go back to connections. We're going to make sure that DXFeed is selected. Make sure it is connected. As we can see, it now has that blue check mark. We're going to hit this plus button right here to add instrument. Now we're going to go back to platform, and we're going to change this to DXFeed. Okay. Now you can type in any symbol that you want to pull up: Apple, AMD, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, etc. I'm just going to type in Tesla for the time being. Always make sure to choose the common stock. It should always be the first one, but sometimes there is like multiple different options. Always do the first one that says common stock. Select that. Again, you have 7 days worth of data that you can load. And then again, we're going to hit subscribe. Give it a second while it loads. Perfect. And then again, we can start using the order flow right away. Now, the other cool thing is if you have the Bookmap Data, is you can also pull up a crypto instrument. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. So to do that, we're going to hit this plus button. We're going to go back to platform. We're going to change this to Bookmap Data. Type is going to be futures. Or sorry, we're going to change the type from futures to perpetual, right? So perp, the second one. Our exchange is going to be multi-book. The reason it's multi-book is because it's taking data from multiple different institutions, and it's consolidating it into one symbol. So you can see we have Binance Futures, Bybit, Biget, and OKX. Okay. Now here we have, multiple different options we can choose from. We're just going to go ahead and choose BTC USDT. Our historical data, again, we can load up to 7 days worth of data. Tick size, I do mention to have this at least at like 50. Bitcoin's a lot lower now than it was, like 120,000 is what it was at one point. But the tick size is essentially like these increments that we have over here. So like on Tesla, we can see it's every 10 cents. When we pull up Bitcoin, these will be in increments of 50. Now, if you had it set to 1, that would be a lot of data to load, and it would probably be, way too much for Bookmap to handle. So set your tick size to 50 and then hit subscribe. Give it a second while it loads. And again, you can see that our tick size is 50, 800, 850, 900, 950, etc. And that is how you pull up a crypto instrument. So as far as some other free education there is, if you guys head on over to the Bookmap website and you go to the education tab, we have a bunch of free courses over on the Bookmap website. So we have how to get started with Bookmap, which is essentially what we went over today, knowing your features with Bookmap, connecting to data, which is what we went over today, the Bookmap add-ons, market mechanics, order flow phenomena. But then there's also courses from individual traders at Bookmap, one of them being mine. So Bruce has one on supply and demand. Robert has one on VWAP and anchored VWAP. JTrader has one with futures and stocks. And then mine is how to trade 0DT options using the order flow on Bookmap, specifically the S&P futures and the NASDAQ futures. So those are some free courses you can take advantage of. We also have our knowledge base. So if you hit here and hit knowledge, it essentially is taking a lot of the stuff that's in the courses and kind of just consolidating it into like type form. So if you prefer to, read it instead of watching a video, you have that option. But you have indicator breakdowns, strategy breakdowns, getting started breakdowns, all that good stuff is in the knowledge base. Again, if you guys are not in the Discord, to join it, just hit community. Discord is right there. You can sign up. All you need to do is have an account with Bookmap. It's completely free to join. And then other than that, there's free events every single day over on the Bookmap website, which takes you into the Discord. So if we were to scroll down, say, you know, we wanted to join Dan on what's today, the 11th? Say we wanted to join Dan tomorrow, right? And do the same thing that we're doing today. You click that, it'll tell you the time, date, and you can join. If you wanted to hop in on, you know, Bruce, live all market analysis, you can click that. Here's the link, here's the day, here's the time. Or if you wanted to hop into, who is this? Doug. If you want to hop into Doug's session, trade options like a pro using Bookmap, boom, links right there, day, time, and you can join. So lots of education, free education on the Bookmap website as well. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's how to get up and running with Bookmap. Let's take, you know, a few minutes to answer any questions that you guys have. And yeah, we'll be on our way. What questions do you guys have? Any questions at all? Anybody typing? Or does it all make sense to everybody? I don't see anybody typing. I'm going to assume everybody's good. Give you guys another minute to type if you have any. All right, we got somebody typing. Maybe not. He stopped typing. He's typing again. All right. I got faith in you. Brodati? I think is how you say it. There actually is a feature that I don't know if it's fully released yet, that you can zoom out to like higher time frames to see like the overall order flow. But yeah, that's about all I know of it right now. Mainly for intraday, I would say. Well, perfect. Everybody have an amazing day. Again, if you guys want to do this again tomorrow, Dan will be hosting his at, says 11:30, I think Mountain Time, so maybe 1:30 EST. But perfect. Everybody have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Peace.